Welcome to Moving Forward for Life with Rosita. Discover your way home. You know, one thing that is constant in life is there will always be change. And changes could be buying or selling a home, the loss of a loved one, marriage, divorce, it goes on. But when you find yourself on a new path, whether planned or unexpected, what you know is home is shaken or shattered. So this is clear. How you process a change will impact the trajectory of your life. Moving Forward for Life with Rosita starts now. Hi, and welcome to Moving Forward for Life with Rosita. Discover your way home. I'm Rosita, your discovery coach and realtor, and my shows focus on life coaching and real estate topics, all with the goal to help you move forward in life. Today, I have a special guest, Claudia-Sam of Soul Coaching. Now, welcome, Claudia. I just want to thank you for joining us. I'm really excited to talk about this topic because there's different terminology that people use. So we're going to clarify that today. And so welcome. Can you share some things about yourself and what your company does?
Oh, thank you so much, Rosita. It's so fun because you and I we met through Transformation Talk Radio, and we just had a really great connection. So I'm really glad that that you invited me on your podcast. Thank you so much. Yay.
Yeah, welcome.
So, a little bit about me. I'm now a dog mom to my sister's dogs because I'm dog sitting. So I consider myself a dog mom right now. I'm a paddleboard lover and I choose to focus on the present moment. Oh, maybe another little nugget of the personal side. I broke my finger 3.5 weeks ago. So I'm playing with 9 fingers for now.
Makes you appreciate it, right?
Oh, yeah, so much. It's when you start to recognize that you can't tie your shoe or, any little movements like holding your cup of coffee, you are actually using all of your fingers. So,
right.
Slight note of that apart. My business is pretty much, it's your soul connection coach. That's what I like to call myself, in the sense that I help people access their inner confidence so that they can be in their light and stop living life according to what they think they should do, according to what they have been seeing everyone else do, and they're labeling it as good enough, because that is no longer the paradigm that we're living in. And I'm really excited to stand here and to have this conversation with you about just accessing our soul and our soul self so that we can actually be in alignment, make decisions that feel good for us. And I do all of that using my tune in method. So of course, if you're listening and you're curious about more, then you can go to tuneinmethod.com and find out a little bit more.
Yeah. And if we get a chance, let's chat about that at the end if we have more time.
Sure.
So I'm so excited about our topic today. I initially wrote 3 important reasons to soul search, but like you educated me, it's not a search. We talked about this, how in the real estate industry, you're buying a house, you go out and you search for a home and then you make it a home. But you mentioned to me that our souls are already within us. So there's no need to search for it, that we are accessing it. I love that. Can you go a little bit deeper into that?
Yeah, let's talk about that for sure. Thanks for bringing that up and for being open to just play with the words. There are many ways to think about it. We can think that the soul is in the human body, or we can think that the human body is in the soul. Whatever feels, I think, the most true and reassuring for us gets to be what we believe. I really think, we're not here to say this is the right way and this is wrong, or this is wrong or this is right. No, because we all get to experience life in the embodiment of who we are and what we're here to do. And lately I've been really tuned into the knowing that we are all unique expressions of the light of the divine, of positive energy source, of, we can use the word God. And when we use the word soul, to me, that brings me to step out of circumstances, step out of stress, step out of worry, step out of anxiety, step out of all the little intricate stories we can create in the mind that make us think we're not good enough, that we don't have enough, all of it. And, we are very familiar with these stories that we create and the chit chat in the mind. And for me, the soul is that part of the being, capital B, the being that we are. And it's just detached from the daily, quote unquote, problems that we allow into our lives. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to touch upon when you said that we are all individuals or created individually. Because I have a strong belief in God, and there is a scripture that says you are all masterpieces. So that I thought, that is amazing. A masterpiece is a one of a kind piece of art. And so that shifted for me. And I thought, okay, so now I'm moving from being a piece of work into a masterpiece, because I'm created to be that, right? And to access our souls is so important, because it to me, life, traumas, pain has had, we pushed it down. We pushed access to our soul down. So now we got to unpack all this stuff to get it back in touch with the core of who we are. So I love that. I love what you were saying there.
Yeah, thank you. We get to unpack, unlearn. It's true. And also, one of the discourses that I hear in my community and with my clients, especially at the beginning, it's like, oh my gosh, but it's so much work to do this. It's so heavy and it's always crying and I'm always in the emotions. Well, guess what? It's like, yes, unlearning one layer at a time, and you just get to know yourself deeper and deeper, and you get to fall in love with yourself more and more. And it's just getting better and better. So yeah, maybe it rains before the clouds move out of the way, but then it's done. Then you just keep growing and learning through it all. And it allows you to be in the full expression of who you're meant to be, instead of being hidden by all these barriers that, well, trauma or identities to trauma, identities to titles and jobs and responsibilities. When we identify with that, we create a shield, and we're not connected to who we are at a soul level.
Right. And then if we're broken, then we operate from a place of brokenness, and we make choices from that place. So it's crazy to think, like, of course, if we're making choices from a broken place, it's going to cause some pain. And some of that is self-inflicted.
Thanks for saying that. And I'd love to add that, or contribute to what you shared, that it is a belief. And my belief system believes that being broken is something we can choose. We can choose to think we're broken. That means that there's something to fix. But what if there is nothing to fix? What if we are never broken, and every piece of our life experience allows us to connect deeper to why we're here?
Ah, that's good. That's good. I like that. Thank you for sharing that. So let's go into the 3 important reasons to access our soul. I know that we actually talked about all 3 of them already, but let's just bullet point it for our
Let's do that.
We're 2 very passionate women, so we just.
Exactly. We could talk for hours about it. And I'd love to hear for you too, right? I feel like those 3 bullet points, we could definitely come up with them with our own experiences and what is important to us.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and allow you to do the 3 important, because you are the soul connection coach. So
well, thanks for that. And you are a soul too. And so what I want to premise is that each of us have the power to access our soul and to be our own authority. And so even though I say, yeah, I'm a soul connection coach, I'm not here to tell my client, here's the exact thing you need to do to get from no connection to connection, because what works for me might be totally different than what works for someone else. So I'm just putting this out there that yes, I've created the tune-in method and it helps people to have kind of a guideline, because I mean, I'm not going to lie. People love guidelines. We love structure. Many people love structure to kind of know where to go. And from that structure, we get to flourish and bloom and make our own creation. So, okay, not to get too off the tangent. Okay, I'm going to start the first point. I'm going to share a story. If that's cool with you.
Yeah.
When this anchors into my mission and why it's important to access your soul. My grandmother and I had a really tight relationship. And my grandmother passed away in 2015. I think she was 78. And she died without having ever been on purpose, ever. And here's why. There are many circumstances in her life that she chose to identify with and make herself broken. Mm-hmm. And for these reasons, and there was no self-help as much,
right,
in, 50, 40 years ago. It wasn't as present than it is now.
Right.
What was present was, here you go. Here's a box of pills. Here's a bottle of pills. Here's the psych ward. You're crazy right now because you're depressed and anxious, and because you have traumas that nobody wants to hear about. And we're telling you, you shouldn't talk about these traumas because they're bad. They're making you crazy. Here, pop a few pills, go to the psych ward. This is what happened in my grandmother's life. She was not taught to feel. She was not taught to be heard or supported or seen for the wholeness of her life experience, including being with trauma. So that is a big part of my mission, to help people recognize their own inner power, to choose to get help, and to not identify with their traumas or the traumas. They're not theirs. So to disidentify with the traumas that they've experienced. And because who wants to live a life not on purpose? My grandmother was not happy. And I mean, I can talk about it openly now without crying because it's been a few years and because I've processed it. It's hard to see someone you love not having tapped into their full potential.
Right.
And that is one of the clearest reasons for me why accessing our soul is important, because then we can live the life that we are here to live without regrets.
Yes. Yeah. I always say that we can, when we know who we are, we can stand comfortably in that. Right. The foundation is we know who we are. So nobody can just push us a little bit and we fall off. No, we're standing strong in this spot comfortably.
It's true. And someone said once this sentence. She said, you get to stand in your messy enoughness. You get to stand in your messy enoughness. And I thought, yeah, because being enough, we think it's to be perfect, but it's not really that. It's messy. So we get to be in all of it.
That's all Hollywood.
Right. And so that is like the foundation of the why, of the reason I feel we get to choose to embark on a transformation journey, whether it's, with a transformational coach, with a therapist, with whatever other healers and connection tools that you choose. You are here to live this one life in this body. Use it to the fullness. So that's the first reason for me. I would say that the second reason, it's pretty much like all that. It all comes down to you living authentically you. And another analogy could be that, is it an analogy or just an example? Imagine going to the restaurant every day. Let's say every day you were to go to have your meals, you would go to the restaurant, but you never had the choice of what to eat. People who you're with And people behind the desk would always tell you, here, this is what you're having. Here, this is what you're having. Nope, you can't have this. This is what you're having. Oh, you feel like having that? Nope, sorry. That's almost like the visual that I have. If we choose to not access our soul, then we're living life for someone else. And so, is that what you want? And maybe it is. Maybe you don't want to make a decision. Maybe you just want to sit back and just ride the wave of capitalism and modernization and following by the rules and having a routine and going, quote unquote, by the book. And maybe that is fine and perfect for you, because maybe that's exactly what you need right now. Let that be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
And if you are tired of having everyone else choose for you, it's, and I'm using this analogy, but you can use this as, in other words, some questions I will ask my clients is this a yes or a no for your soul? Does this feel uplifting or draining for your energy?
Right. Yeah.
That is you making a choice. That is you tuning into your empowered self. So you could say, it's me using my intuition. You could say, it's me connected to my heart. You could say, it's me accessing my soul.
Mm-hmm.
And from that place, I make empowered decisions based on what feels good to me.
At that time, because
yes,
we evolve. So it could be good for that moment. And then 2 years down the line, something else flips or, changes.
totally.
So change again. And that's okay. It's okay.
I mean, in one day, sometimes I'll get changed 4 times, like just a very simple, basic example.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And was there one other important reason?
Well, I mean, we've covered only 2, but let's see if I can tune into a third reason why accessing our soul is important. And the word that comes to me is power. Because when we are tuned in, I like to use the word tuned in, hence my tune in method. When we are tuned in, when we are connected, we get to trust ourselves at such a deep level
Mm-hmm.
that we access our inner power, not only to make those decisions and to live life without regrets, but also to be in the utmost awareness of what we are experiencing, being aware of what our body is feeling, of what our mind is saying, of how we're feeling, and using that using the awareness to have power and be at choice about how we want to live our lives. Mm-hmm. So does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. I'm totally resonating with everything that you're saying. I'm like, check. I think that was really powerful. So we're coming close. We probably have another 5 minutes to the end. And I just think it's really important to share a couple of tips for women to how do we start this journey? Because a lot of us may think about it, right, during the course of picking up kids, dropping off kids, taking them to wherever they need to go, taking care of a husband, or maybe you're in a stage of taking care of your parents. There is just so much to do. And for generations, women have been taught to take care of everybody else and then put yourself last. And that in itself is not a bad thing. But what's missing is the balance. Where's the balance? Because we cannot take care of others authentically if we can't even feed ourselves, our soul, not feed like fast food. But
yeah, I get what you mean. And, thank you for that question. I mean, I have many tips and tools, and the 2 things that are coming up for me, the first one is, are you willing to let go of the thought that selfishness is bad? Because if you think that it's bad to care for yourself, then you're going to keep being at the bottom of the to-do list or on the other side of the page, or you're just never going to be on your own to-do list. So are you willing to shift your belief around selfishness? And then from that place, are you willing to be aware of the fact that you're important? Are you willing to be aware that you are important? From awareness grows opportunities. When there's no awareness, the tools, what tools? Tools for what? So when we are aware of what we need, well, actually, yeah, I want to put myself on the to-do list, but I just keep saying, oh, I'll get to me tomorrow. But then tomorrow, it's a big surprise, never comes. So being aware that that's just the pattern that you're operating in would be step one to the how, to getting you to the how. Are you willing to be aware? That starts there. And then, well, I would say get help, because to think that you get to transform and put yourself first alone just feeds into the same pattern you've been living in. I can do it. I can do everything for everyone. Oh, I can wait for me before I care for myself. It can wait. I'm less important. Oh, so you can make yourself a priority on your own? That, like, yes, we can. We are powerful beings. We are at choice, and we don't have to. We don't have to do it alone. We get to use the help of women like you and I, Rosita, and communities, people who are like soul, like-minded, aligned in the energy, wanting to grow together, because it is about the collective. It's no longer about our own individual needs and goals and desires. It's about bringing the whole of who we are sharing life with forward. Because when we choose to connect and access to our soul, we create ripple effects, and it does affect the others around us. So if we think it's just about us and we could do it alone, well, we're kind of missing the boat here. So find a coach or someone with whom you can feel heard and seen and supported. That would be a big how, because then ideally you find someone who has you tune into tools that suit you. Because I could share a bunch of tools, and I do on my Be Happy Now show podcast. I share a bunch of tools, and you can take some, you can leave some, because some might fit really well for you. And it depends on where you're at in your journey. If there's a lot more anxiety in your body, or pain, instead of feeling like a rock when it comes to emotions, those are two different things. Therefore, tools would be different for each person.
Absolutely. Yeah. The journey is different for everybody. There's no cookie cutter journey. I think that it's also important to surround yourself with people that are positive, that are supporting you. Because when you surround yourself with toxic people, it's going to just weigh you down so much. Like I have a picture of somebody who's carrying 3 luggages, even though they roll, they're still a hassle. Backpacks, hand carrying some bags. These are all things that you're carrying every day when you walk and talk and commune with people that are toxic. And sometimes we don't recognize that. And as much as it hurts, those are the ones that have to be pruned out of your life. And that's going to take time, and you're going to get resistance for sure. But I just challenge you to just kind of start to fall back on somebody who is very critical, judgmental, not positive. Fall back from their presence and spending time with them, and see how that feels for you. See if you can then access your soul a little bit better. That's a tip from me.
Totally love that. Yes. And sometimes those are some of the hardest ones for my clients at the beginning. I know they're like, but will I have to cut everyone out of my life? No, you don't have to, because when you start to shift your awareness and you start to change, people around you do start to change, and your desires and needs to be around others shift. And it's all in a soul aligned way. You don't have to force anything, and it just flows.
It's organic.
So organic.
Yeah. Once you understand that you are of value, it's not that everybody else is better, everybody else has a better life. Stop looking at them, because it doesn't matter what they say about you. It matters what you say about yourself.
Yeah. Mic drop right there. Thanks, Rosita.
Claudia-Sam, this has been amazing. I could talk with you for hours about this, because we kind of are aligned my discovery coaching is similar to the work that you do as well. But I got to have you back because there's so much positive energy and excitement and passion between us talking about this. And I think that women can really learn a lot, even if they just tune in for 5 minutes. There's a lot here. So thank you so much. Want to give you an opportunity to share how people can reach you, what your website is, things of that nature.
Thank you so much. Yes, it's such a pleasure for me too. Such a fluid conversation, and it's fun and joyful. So yeah, I hope that you're also on the listener end are enjoying this episode. Well, for one, if you want to hop onto my Be Happy Now show podcast, anywhere you listened to Rosita's show, then you will find mine there for sure. And please go to ClaudiaSamSoulCoaching.com and click on the Start Here button. You'll be able to download a free 3-step audio guide to help you put yourself first on the top of the to-do list. So that would be one of the starting points for you if you're curious. And if you want a little bit more of a deeper dive and you're ready to put yourself first and you're ready to transform and grow and you're curious about where you are on or within the tune-in method, then go to tuneinmethod.com and then let's book a chat. Let's get on a heart-to-heart and get to know each other and get curious.
Yeah, get curious. I love that. Remember choosing the trajectory of your life. It's within your reach. You have the choice. You have the power to access your soul. You can contact Claudia-Sam. You can contact myself, Rosita Perez, and let's help you to move forward in a life that you desire. Thank you so much. We will see you next time, Claudia. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you so, Claudia-Sam. Claudia-Sam.
It's all good, Rosita. We're friends here. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to Moving Forward for Life with Rosita. Discover your way home. Through my own personal healing journey, I've come out stronger and braver. I know firsthand how hard, how lonely, and heartbreaking it is to continually live in pain. As we work together, you will discover the good, the bad, and the not so pretty parts of yourself so you can uncover the fabulous in you. Discover what you need to come home, whether that's a physical home or the home in you. Join me every second and fourth Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific.